Welcome to the Online Entrepreneur Experience podcast that details the ins and outs, the how-tos, and the ups and downs of living a life of an online business owner. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Online Entrepreneur Experience. As always, I'm Deuces. That is Mark Wilson, the Viking marketer. How's it going today, Mark?
Oh, just fan-freaking-tastic, man. Just live the dream every freaking day, man.
Attaboy. So we want to hit you with some big knowledge bombs today. And we're going to be talking about energy management. I can just hear the sound effects.
It's more like an electronic, like it's like one of those pulses, just because it's all the energy that's coming out, right?
I love it. I'm right there with you, man. What are those called?
The bags under our eyes? Yeah,
yeah. That I think that's an age thing.
Oh, okay. So that's just there 24/7 for gents like us. It's
or
just
it could be
the vast amount of knowledge that we have. Is that what those bags are there for?
Yes, because we can't even sleep. It's just roaming around in there. We just got to get it out, and this is how we get it out. This is how we get this information to you guys.
Hey man, I'm good with it if you are.
These bags will go away by the end of the episode because we just got to get it out.
Yeah, just got to get it out.
That makes sense.
I think so. Unpack the bags.
Yeah, that's right. The knowledge bags. Okay, well, let's start this off. Mark, first question, in your own words, what exactly is energy management?
Well, I'm sure everyone's heard of time management, right? Like it's a pretty common term, especially in the business space, the entrepreneurial space. Everyone's always like, oh, I got to manage my time and everything like that. And I see like so many people do that wrong. Damn! But that's not even the thing that matters the most. What energy management is like we all have a certain amount of energy, just like we have a certain amount of time every single day that we get to exude. We get to spend every day, just like you get $24 of, and those are hours, if you didn't get my link there. But you get a certain amount of energy as well. So we have batteries that recharge every single day, and sometimes we recharge to full, sometimes we don't. But we do expenditures to expend that energy every single day. So it's just about managing that energy so you don't run out when it's peak time to do peak activities.
Makes total sense, man. So you touched briefly on time management. What is the biggest difference between time management and energy management?
Well, I mean, like you can show up, like we're just joking around about like for this podcast, but if you have bags in your eyes and you have no energy and no like enthusiasm to do what you're about to do, then you're not managing your energy properly, but you are managing your time correctly because you showed up for the activity that you're there for. You're just really not prepared to do it.
Then that's a great explanation because we got bags under our eyes. We're not really doing our energy management as well as we should. We both have two younger kids. So I'm assuming that has something to do with it, but can you give me
day, I guess, right? I said depends on the day, right?
Oh yeah. It depends on the day for sure. Can you give me an example of what poor energy management looks like someone who thinks they're doing a good job, but it's obvious that they're not? And let's use an example like what we do with the online business.
For sure, man. I think that is one of the easiest ways to go about that, right? So let's just say and everyone's different. Okay. So for me, I'll just give an example for myself. And I don't want you guys to mimic your days and your schedules and your management around mine because obviously I'm different than you are and we all are. So anyways, like for me, I have the most energy in the morning and prior to like 1 o'clock. Like that's the time that I'm at my like peak performance of that. And Renee gets those benefits of these crazy energy bombs every single morning with voice notes. And he's like, holy bro, I haven't even had a coffee yet. Leave me alone.
You got to give me a break. Sometimes they're coming in at 5:30 in the morning. Like, it's like, whoa, dude.
Bro, I'm still sleeping. For sure. So for me, like the biggest thing there is just knowing when you are at your peak times, right? Like when you know that you have the most amount of energy, so you can exude, and you want to really manage it into this the areas where they matter the most. Let's just say that you do sales. You should be managing your sales calls into the time where you're at like the most cognitive thinking. Let's just say that you do some type of other cognitive thinking. Maybe it's creative work where you're creating content. You should probably put those things into the time where you're at your peak energy levels. So whenever you need to use your highest cognitive states, you should be putting those tasks within those areas. Let's just say that it's like doing some follow-up in like, comment section or outreach to people where you don't really need to be thinking too much. Like it's kind of like mindless, monotonous tasks and whatnot. Those are the things that you put, like say in like, for me, I get like midday drag. So like 2 o'clock in the day, like I would be putting those tasks there because I don't need to think. It's just, and that's when you want to be doing those tasks. Now, I know other people that they have kids just like us, and their peak time is after they put their kids to bed, they take an hour to themselves to like recoup, clean up, all that type of stuff, organize the brain. And then at like 9 p.m., they're like bouncing off the wall with energy, and they go from like 9 to 12, and that's their peak state, and that's their peak time to do all their creative work. So, I mean, we all are built different.
I'm built different.
Obviously, like Renee, I've talked to him many times. He's like ready to pass out at 9:30 at night, not the exact same way, right? So it all depends on like who you are and how your energy comes, but that's kind of how you should be managing it around there. I think that was a little bit longer of an answer, but I think I hit it, right?
Oh yeah, you totally hit it. So someone who has poor energy management, they're going to be the type of people that do their content at the same time every single day, even if they don't have the creative juices flowing in that moment, because it's not the peak expenditure of that energy. Is that right?
Yeah, well, essentially, let's just say that like you're really good at let's just say like you work, let's just say that you work a job and you're working from like 8 to 4. Let's go for 8 to 4. And like that's generally where you have a lot of energy because you're at work. But when you get home from work, you're still riding that high until about like 6:30. So what I'll see a lot of people do is when they're like mixing their like side hustle or brand new business owner operations with their 9 to 5 work, or 8 to 4 in this case, work, is they'll come home from work and they'll be like, oh, I've been working, I need to take a break. And then what they'll do is they'll break right after work. They'll play with their phone, watch some TV, catch up on the news, whatever it is, whatever hobbies that they do to take a break. And then after that, they'll go back to trying to do creative work, say like building content and whatnot, and they're spent. They've now had to make dinner and all that type of stuff on top of that. And all of that energy, all of that momentum that they had from their whole day has thus stopped, and they can't pick it back up. And that's when they're choosing to do activities. And generally what happens is I see those people just burning out because they're not performing at the level that they want. So they're not getting the like return on their time investment that they're putting out. So they're not getting that. So they think the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And then the other parts of the time, they're just not wanting to do it because they're so drained, and they're like, oh, I'll just procrastinate for later.
Yeah. And I've come across people like this all the time as well. In fact, almost every time I look in the mirror. That's being facetious, but before I started working with Mark, I was the exact same person that he just described. Come home, you wind down, even though your energy is still high, but you need that transition period from work Renee to home Renee. And that transition period is, if your energy is at the peak, that's when you should be doing something creative. You should be doing something towards whatever goal you set for yourself. So if you are someone like me from before, what are some key
The broke
tips?
Renee, not the woke Renee.
Yes, the broke Renee, not
Okay,
woke
yeah.
Renee.
Cool.
So what are some tips on improving your energy management?
Well, the first thing is it's just like AA. The first thing is, accepting that there is a problem, right?
Fair enough.
Until you accept that there is a problem, like you can't go anywhere, right? Like, and this goes for so many different facets. If you're like, I would rather be comfortable or just do it my way, or like not think about the process. I'm just gonna do it the way that like it feels good to me. You're gonna fail every single time. Like I was watching this podcast with like two extremely successful entrepreneurs earlier today, Dan Henry and Alex Hormozy, and they were talking about like how so many people like don't actually look at like the real metrics, the things that like matter within there. I know that energy obviously isn't a quantifiable thing, but it's a pretty easy thing to look at if you actually take a step back and look at it, right? So it's just you have to analyze and give yourself a scorecard how you're showing up in these things, but most people won't take that step back. So if you're one of those people that aren't at the place that you want to be in your life, put it all in a comment section. Don't be shy, but take a step back. And if you need some help with adjusting that, we have a bunch of different videos that we've shot on different like scorecards on yourself, giving yourself reviews and everything like that as well.
Yeah, so it's like a self-assessment, right?
100%, yeah.
So that's where it starts. But to further that, once you realize you have the problem and you can recognize that you are wasting your energy, instead of wasting your time, you're wasting your energy. How, in that moment, what is something that someone can do to improve that situation for themselves?
Well, just figure out whatever is the most important thing for you, essentially. And I know I cut you off, but you're used to it. So just shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
I thought you were done the question.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
But essentially, you have to assess yourself on your priority levels. Like, what is the most important things and how you should be assessing those. And I'll give you a little tip. And this is how I train the people that I work with all the time. Is focus on the RGAs, the revenue generating activities. And those should be the top of your priorities. If your top of your priority is a bunch of busy work and everything, and that's what you're putting into your high energy times of the day, then you're doing it wrong. You really need to readjust that and reset your priorities. So that would also be a priority problem, which is a whole different podcast. Yeah, like what you need to be doing in those kind of states is looking at the priorities, prioritizing the stuff that's cognitive and that's going to make you money, and put those things at those peak times once you've evaluated your situation.
I love that, man. That's massive, because what you're basically saying is in those moments, you just need to take an inventory of even your to-do, your goals, or whatever your priority is, and reallocate that energy to what is going to be the RGA. And I don't think we touched on the RGA enough. There's something that I never heard until I met Mark is an RGA. Right? It's
I didn't
a massive thing.
Just letting you guys know, I can't say I coined that statement or anything like that, but it is a very important thing, right?
Yes, it is. So if you are behind on bills, or you're working your bag off for somebody else, and you need to make some more money to get make ends meet, that's what you should be focusing on, instead of scrolling through reels on Facebook and just wasting time. And because when you're wasting time, you're also wasting energy.
1000%, man. And I see this so often is people will be like, I have no time. And it's because one is of that type of bullshit. And two is because when they are exuding time, they aren't exuding the right amount of energy into those like needle moving things, so their focus is all wrong. So I mean, like, just reeling it back over to the energy portion of this is you really need to know like what like is energy things. There are things that can move the needle that like you can have, like Renee's wife does like bookkeeping, and she has a bookkeeping business, so emailing some clients and everything like that for just like some follow-up. You can have template messages, but those could be making you massive amount of money. But just knowing what RGA things actually need your full attention. It's just like I was saying, like follow-up messages, like Renee and me were just talking about it yesterday, I think it was, how important follow-up messages are, how much money you make off of follow-up messages, and it's just because you're following up with people. But it's literally can be the simplest message, like did you see my last message? Like that could be it. But like, so you don't need a lot of like attention for that. That's legitimately the last thing I do every single day is I follow up with all the soon to be clients that I have. I follow up with them all like just before I log off.
Yeah. And that's a great way of doing it. I do it first thing when I wake up, as I hit those follow-ups.
But Renee also does, like, that's not his peak energy time.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark and I are so similar. I know I've said this in the past, but we're both capable of staying up late, but we're always up super early. Like, it doesn't matter if it's summer break and the kids are home, or it's just weekend or not. We're up at 6 o'clock, 6:30 at the latest, probably.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's one of those things that, and for both of us, it's not like we get our days going at the very beginning of our days and we wake up and we're like, oh, I'm so glad my head's off the pillow so I can go work. As we take time to ourselves to start our days. Like, that's how we become those energy factories. Is we charge up our batteries and make sure that our heads are right in the game, so we can go into that. But like, soon afterwards, that's my peak time. It's like about like an hour and a half after I wake up. Like, that's when my peak time starts.
Yeah, exactly. And that's because we took inventory of ourselves and we realized when our energy is at its peak, and because it's not a time thing for us anymore, because we are solopreneurs, we work from home. We don't really need to worry about time and the energy that you have and the high that you're running off of from coming home from work. So we were able to take that self inventory of our energy and we allocate it to where it needs to go at what time during the day is best for that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was just talking to Kellen earlier today about this, and he's like, man, I'm gonna have to, like, he's like, he likes to sleep in. He's not like us, so he likes to sleep in. Then pretty like about an hour after he wakes up, he goes to the gym, and then usually me and him have a call or something like that. Then he spends like 3 hours with his girlfriend. She goes and pieces out, and then he goes and does work. But it's like 6 o'clock at that point in time that he kind of starts his work day. And he's like, man, there's so many days where it's just like, I just don't, it's 6 o'clock already. I want to end my day. And that's when he's trying to start his day. So he was telling me how he's going to be flipping his schedule and switching the time that he's going to hang out with his girl so he can use his peak times a little bit more. But it's just about evaluation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Taking that inventory. And then once you do realize what time of the day your energy is at its peak, it's about making that choice right then and there. We talked about that last podcast about making the choice to benefit yourself in the long run. When it comes to energy management, if you were to knock it down to just one tip to get people in the right mindset in order to take that self inventory, what would that be?
Just one tip. One
tip. Hard one.
Energy comes from within. Okay, so you cannot like go grab it from a bottle. You cannot go grab it from like some other type of supplement. You can't go steal it from other people. I mean, there are energy vampires and stuff like that, but what I'm saying is genuine energy every single day comes from within. So you have to work from within to be able to exude that energy, or else long-term, you're never going to have the success. So you want long-term success always. Don't take those short-term shortcuts, because you're going to pay for it later, and you'll never be able to have that longevity of success.
Exactly. You either fight now or fight later, because if you're doing the shortcuts now, you're going to be fighting something else later on. So
yeah, and this goes totally different for like a blitz. Like, let's just say that you're under like some type of like deadline, like, so you're doing a project for somebody or something like that, and you're just like, man, like, I know, like, I have to get like this batch of content done for this client or this sales funnel done, and the deadline's looming. Yeah, for sure, you're gonna have to do some stuff. There's some deadline stuff, but like, that's the exception, not the rule. Like, you should be living life by the rules, not the exceptions.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And you said something before You called it an energy vampire.
Yeah.
Open that up for us, would you?
That coffin? Are we opening up that coffin? Yeah. For sure. So like there are people that are energy factories, and then there's people that are energy vampires. And like having those people in your life will radiate different results in your life, right? So if you do have those energy vampires in your life, those are people, whenever you're around them, you leave feeling drained. Like those are those people that just suck the life out of you. And it could be like people that are like your family members. It could be like your significant other. It could be some leads. Like I know for myself, like when I'm talking to some potential customers, I'm like, this is not somebody I want in my life or around me, or even asking me questions. Because I'm just like, ugh! And you just feel it when you're talking to certain people. And obviously some people are more receptive to these things than other people, and maybe you're an energy vampire yourself, so you're not as receptive. But for me, I've really noticed when certain people are really trying to take from me. And when you notice those people in your lives, you need to remove them. You need to run. Like you need to like distance yourself as much from those people as possible, because it doesn't, no matter how much management you have and everything, if you're like in your peak times, but those people are calling you or they're at your house or any of those kind of things, you're going to ruin those energy times, and you'll never be at your peak state to be able to really get into those zones.
That makes total sense. So is it only people that are energy vampires, or could it also be phones?
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, I for me, like I hate my phone, so I'm never on it. So it's like one of those things that's not really there for me. But there's activities, there's entities, there's lots of different things like that can end up sucking the life out of you. And sometimes it's your own mindset that goes towards these things, right? So like you can have your phone and have all these notifications on your phone, and I'm sure everyone can look at their phone right now, and there's probably like 100 notifications on there right now. And if you have those things suck your attention. And when your attention gets sucked away, that means your energy is being sucked away. That's why, like, I don't work. Like, my phone is not on my desk, right? You know, my phone isn't even in my office. I have a pretty massive office. It is not in here. It's on a whole different floor from me. And it's just because the phone can be such a massive thing, as well as certain tasks. If there are certain tasks that you're just not aligned with, they can also just suck the life of you. And what you'll end up doing is creating all these bad habits that are around that one task, because you're procrastinating all those type of things, and you're putting all of this energy to avoid this instead of just getting it done. And sometimes you just need to cut those things from your life.
Massive. I know there's probably some people listening now who, as we're saying these vampires, they're thinking of someone.
Yeah.
They got someone in their mind right now that comes to their mind right away as soon as we say energy vampire. They know exactly who it is, and they might be in a position where they can't run. So how do you handle that in a situation like that? Do you just be open and honest with the person, have a good conversation with them, or what do you do?
I like, and this is going to be legitimately different for every single person, right? Yeah. Like there's some people that are more narcissistic, and narcissistic people have a tendency of being vampires. Energy vampires, not like fanged ones, but they do have that tendency. So like talking to that person isn't really going to get you anywhere other than sucking more energy out of you. So what you just need to do is set up boundaries around that person. Let's just say like you live at home and your mom lives with you, and your mom's an energy vampire. My mom's sweet as shit, and I love my mom. She is not an energy vampire, so I don't struggle from this. But I'm just going to give you an example to say that your mom is. Okay, so your mom is an energy vampire, and you need to work at this time. So let's just say that you don't have an office space like me. What you need to do is you need to find a space that is away from people. Maybe it's your bedroom. Maybe it's like an outside place. I'm not sure. Maybe you have to leave and go to a coffee shop when you need to do these activities. I'm not sure what it would be for you and how your life's constructed. But what you need to do is when you are in those peak states where you need to set boundaries, saying, hey, I'm going to my room right now. I am working on this. Do not disturb me. And then if they do, and they probably will at first, because they're not used to you setting these boundaries, you just have to keep reiterating. Don't get angry, because that's once again, exuding that energy that you don't need. What you need to do is just keep setting those boundaries, and eventually that boundary will be accepted by that other person, regardless if they are a narcissist or not. They'll find other ways to mess with you, but just not your peak times. And just go about it that way. So it's just about like finding new ways to set boundaries about those type of things and finding like your safe places. And if it is leaving the house to go do things, then you have to do that sometimes.
Yeah, and that makes total sense, because I've been around people who are energy drains or vampires, and it is tough. It's tough for you to be excited about something you're working towards when someone's trying to suck your energy, because they suck all that good, positive, excited energy right out of you. And so if you find yourself in a situation with an energy vampire, do what Mark says, set those boundaries. What do we call that one? It's managing expectations.
Managing expectations, yeah.
Yeah. So you come home and you set that boundary, and you're just like, what I expect from you is just leave me alone for this hour and a half. And that's it. And that's managing each other's expectations.
For sure. And you got to honestly be like understandable at the same time. If you're coming home and you're trying to manage expectations with a 6-year-old, that's probably not going to happen. Like if they miss their mom or their dad and they want to see them, they have all these stories and stuff like that coming home, like just make sure that you're setting yourself up for success at the exact same time, right? Like don't set these unrealistic expectations. Set up the expectations that are going to be accepted and will be able to move forward from, right?
Yeah, exactly. And your situation is different from mine, it's different from Mark's, it's different from your neighbors. So we can only do so much and give you so much knowledge. The rest is kind of up to you.
For sure.
But Mark, can we give everyone a quick recap? Energy management.
For sure. And so energy management, first, the AA treatment, you have to admit that there's a problem. So let's just all say, I'm Mark Wilson, I have a problem. Just joking.
You're Mark Wilson, you have a problem.
The first thing is just admitting it. The second thing is acknowledging when you have that, like taking that step back, figuring that out, and then setting up protocols for yourself with the prioritized schedule of what you need to get done in that. So whatever the situation is, that when you're going to be at your peak, you just have to like set up a strategy with the expectations around it, with the priorities, and you're going to be golden, baby. You're going to be just, you'll never not get everything done that you want to get done ever again, and your productivity will go up about 15x. Like just watch it. Like if you stay consistent with it and you actually do this, guys, this energy management trick will just vault you to the, like, not in the next level, but like 7 levels up.
Whew. Can you imagine? It's like level 1, world 2,
yeah,
Mario 1.
No, just teleport.
Okay, guys, I think we open that up. We unwrap that energy management pretty well. Mark, any last words for our audience here?
Honestly, guys, like just be fulfilled and have purpose in life, and the energy will come. So if you're one of those people that like feels like they never have energy, like my mom has a thyroid issue, which she actually has energy issues, and she still like used to run circles around me, cleaning my house, like helping me with my kids and everything like that when I first quit my job. Like she would run circles around me, and I was a 30-year-old healthy male. So like if you have some purpose and you have some direction with that, you will be able to have the energy. You just have to rise to the occasion, which you're perfectly capable of, because you are amazing.
Awesome. I love that, man. And just remember, guys, we do have a contest going on right now. As soon as we hit 2,500 subscribers, which we're getting pretty close, we will be giving away $100 to any random comment on any one of our videos. So make sure you hit us up in the comments. Let us know how you're going to manage your energy after watching this.
I love it. Love it. I want to hear it, guys. I want to hear you guys' solutions. I want to hear you guys' problems. I want to help you guys with all of it and celebrate you guys.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Take care, guys.
Thanks for tuning into the Online Entrepreneur Experience. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes that we're releasing and any of these amazing pieces of value that we're giving out. And if you could take the time out of your day and leave us a review, we would be so grateful. We look forward to seeing you on that next episode.